How we doing? This is Curtis with AAA Forklifts. Again, this is our Yale 60 that we just had refurbished. It's in the final inspection phases, and this is a series that we're doing for the PMs that we do on site, the planned maintenance. Show you guys a little bit about the inspections that we do when we're on site as well as in the shop. Step one of the inspection is just a visual. So you're doing just a visual inspection of the whole forklift, going through it, making sure that anything that pops out at you gets documented, and then further than that, you go into each individual section, and we'll have different videos for each individual section. But just to start off, you're kind of just looking at the whole forklift overall. You're looking at the tires. You want to make sure that, on this particular example, we have solid pneumatic tires on here, so they've got traction, and you want to make sure that they still got good tread marks on the tires themselves. The fronts do still have a little bit, so you still got a little bit left in here. The rears are brand new, so you can see how much tread you get when you get new tires on there, and that'll kind of give you a gauge as far as when they need to be replaced. One of the things I do want to tell you that I always look at when it comes to the tires, if you come around the back here, is if you ever get wear on the inside of the tire more than the outside of the tire, you have an issue probably with your kingpins. And so that's your bearings on your spindles that are supposed to be greased. If they're not greased, it can wear into the kingpins, and then your bearings fail. It'll tilt the camber of the wheel inwards, and it'll wear more on the inside. So that's just something that I always do is make sure that the wheels are wearing okay. We're going to open up the hood and check for leaks. But before we do that, we're going to walk around to the front of this and just check the mast. You're checking for hoses, making sure that there's no cracked or dry rotted hoses. This is your lift hose. This is one of the more important hoses on it. Then you've got your auxiliary hoses for your side shift. Part of what we do is if any of the hoses are dry rotted or cracked as part of the refurbishment, we'll replace the hoses completely. So all the hoses look good on this one. You've also got your short attachment hoses here that you want to check. And then part of the inspection for just the visuals, make sure you got your fork latches are doing what they're supposed to do. These ones have knobs that turn. When you push it, it should lock into place, which it does, so that you can't move the forks. Another thing I do is, you're checking for oil leaks. So you're looking for any oil leaks. The biggest oil leaks you're going to have on this lift are going to be either from your engine or your hydraulics. So I'm always looking at the cylinders, on the top of the cylinders and the rods, checking to see if we have any wetness or any seepage up underneath. With the tilt cylinder here, gravity flows downwards, so you're going to be checking the bottom. And this one's dry. It's got a little bit of lube on it from when we did the refurbishment. But I'll check the side shift cylinder up under here, make sure that we don't have any seepage here. When we do our refurbs, we do every cylinder, we rebuild every one. So we're doing the lifts, the tilts, side shift, steering. If it has a fork positioner, we do those as well. And then we also want to lift the hood and check to see if we have any leaks or anything on the valve cover, which is going to be the primary place where we have a leak. Other than that, you got the steer cylinder back here that you'll look at. You want to make sure that there's no leaks on the steer cylinder, and the steer cylinder looks dry. That's the last cylinder that you have to look at. And then lug nuts. Lug nuts is another quick visual. You want to make sure all the lug nuts are there. Nothing looks out of the ordinary. You can see it's got all the lug nuts on it as well. These things are supposed to have a fork backrest. This one does. So you want to make sure it's got the mounts are tight. It's not loose on the fork backrest. And then it's got its capacity plate with its weight rating, height rating, as well as all your safety decals. So you got safety decals there. Your data plate is there. And a quick little fun fact about the capacity plate is if you actually take and look at this, so it says here, so this is a GLP 60 VX. So this is a 6,000 pound capacity. A lot of people will say, hey, I got a 5,500 pound capacity lift. That's not true. So this thing has a chart here. And what this is essentially saying is that at 182 inches high, which is the max lift of this forklift, you can lift 5,550 pounds. So this is a 6,000 pound lift, but when you get it up 15 feet high, you can only lift 5,550 pounds. So that way you can tell what the rating is of your forklift. Other than that, you kind of just go through just a visual. You're checking for grease points, making sure that all the grease fittings are here. You can see these have been greased, but you want to make sure that they're all there and that Your seatbelt is where it should be, working like it should be. You want to make sure it retracts. The armrest bolsters are good. And that's pretty much it. Make sure that the dash, you can see the dash display. On this particular lift, the dash will be the one that you can see the codes if there was an issue. So you want to make sure that that it's working like it should. And that pretty much goes over the safety or the visual inspection, other than safety equipment, which we'll get to later. But you can see here we've got a fire extinguisher on this one. You want all your lights, so you've got your strobe up here. You've got a backup alarm. Some of these have brake lights. This one doesn't. Just a reflector. And then you've got your headlights in the front. So you want to make sure that all the safety equipment is there. But in the next series, we'll go through the steering aspect of it, and I'll show you kind of how to check the joints and the tie rods for the steering. Check those kingpins that we talked about for the tires, and make sure that that they're in good shape, and just make sure that everything is doing what it's supposed to do and is greased in that section. So we do these clips to help you guys out. We've also included a link in the video that you guys can click to take you to our website. Download it. Keep it for yourself for your daily inspections, so that when we come out quarterly, we're already going over what you guys have been checking. You guys can let us know if there's been any issues before we get into the full inspection ourselves. But feel free to go to our website, check us out. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us. And like and subscribe. We're going to be doing lots of different videos to kind of get you guys, I guess, well equipped or well informed with everything that goes into the refurbishment aspect of what we do on these forklifts, as well as on site for the PMs.